Okay, 2.3. We're looking at savings accounts. I am recording. I can say your first name, but I cannot say your last name. I can only call you student 1 or student 2, or I just point and say, you. Legally. What's that? I should start charging people for that, especially the people that are home and have to watch the video. Okay, so we wasted 49 seconds so far, and I've gotten 5 words written. This is our simple interest. So we're working with the new formula today. Our formula is simple interest. It is I is equal to PRT. Okay? Where I is your interest. Okay? P is your principal amount. And what principal means is the starting amount of cash. Okay? And then the rate, it'll be sometimes called your APR. It'll be given to you as a percent. So then you need to convert it to a decimal. Okay? And then T, we have time. Okay? Now this is something you really, really, really need to pay attention to. All right? Time has to be in years. Time has to be in years. So if I tell you it's 18 months, that's 1.5 years. Okay? So you've got to convert it into years. So that means you might have to divide by 12. Why 12? Okay, so months, you can divide by 12. And days, we're just going to stick to the 365 days. Okay, I understand that that we were just in a leap year. Okay, unless it specifically, the question specifically says you are in a leap year, you are to use 365. Okay. All right. So let's just jump in to some examples. All right. So we're going to say that your principal amount is $1,000 with an APR of 4.1%, and we're going to see what we can get in 6 years. Okay. So we're going to go with I is what we're looking for. All right. P is 1,000. Your rate is 4.1%. Now convert that to a decimal. If you don't know what to do, divide by 100. Okay. And then we're going to go for time, which is 6 years. Okay. So then if I write my formula out, my P is 1,000. My rate is 0.41. I gotta scoot that up a little bit for Hayden. And then I'm gonna have times that by 6. And then I'm just gonna use my calculator. So what this means is, I'm just gonna say we would earn $246 with all this, with a principal of $1,000, a rate of 0.041, and our time for 6 years. We'd earn $246 of interest. Okay, so I'm gonna let you jot that down. Second example, we're gonna say that our principal amount's gonna be for $5,000. Your APR is gonna be 3.45%, and your time is going to be 8 months. Okay, so this would be like if we took a CD, a certificate of deposit, to the bank, and we're going to let it sit there for 8 months. What would be our expected interest? Okay, so then what would we want to do is we would want to go with, like we did before, I is our unknown, P is 5,000, my rate is 3.45%, convert that to a decimal is 0.0345, and then the time is 8 months. Okay, and what did we say time had to be in? Years. So what should I do with that? So we need to take this and divide it by 12 exactly. So 8 divided by 12. So I could either write it as 2/3, or I'm going to go with 0.67. Okay. All right, so then I'm just going to go right to my formula. So I is equal to my principal amount times it by my rate. And then I'm going to show you the difference between, well, if we use a fraction and then if we did the 0.67. Okay. Got here is we now see that the fraction gave us 115, and the decimal gave us 115.575. Now, if you were a financial institution, which one would you use? Nope. If you're the financial institution, you're going to be using this guy. Okay? Because you're trying to make money, and this is giving money to the customer. And so you got to be consistent. So they'd use 2/3. They'd use the fraction as much as they could. Okay? So our interest would be this. Our total account balance is if we take our principal amount and we add our interest to it, which would be that amount there. Okay. So what we can do is, this is number 3, by the way. I can tell you I have the interest. My principal could be unknown, and my rate would be 2.1%. My time will be for 3 years. Okay. So this time my principal is unknown. So what I need to do is first convert that rate into a decimal. If I just write my simple interest formula, just like that, I can go in and fill it in. All right. I is 300. I don't know my P. That's what I'm looking for. My rate, and then my time. All right. So then I'm going to go 300 is equal to P. And then I'm going to take the 0.021 times that by 3. And I get 0.063. How do I move this guy over to here? That's right. We're going to divide. So we're going to take 300, divide by 0.063. Okay. So what that tells us is that our account to get $300 of interest in 3 years at 2.1%, you had to invest $4,761.90. We're moving into arithmetic sequences. Okay, there's not too much about this, but it's useful to kind of see what happens in the future. All right, so arithmetic sequences this is your future value. Okay, A1 is your beginning value. Where did I start with? How much money did I have? All right, N is the amount of times we are looking at this. Okay, say it's like the 75th term or the 100th term, right? And then D is your common difference, okay? So I should have wrote that down. At your arithmetic sequence, I gave him the little story about 1175s in Mr. Nielsen's swear jar. He typically adds 70 cents a day. How much is in the swear jar in 100 days? So the way we'd write this out is I'd say A to the 100, because that's my nth term I'm looking for. A1, where I started, is going to be the 1175 plus 100 minus 1, because again, that's my number of things I'm looking at, all right? The common difference is 70 cents, okay? Now, if I add to it, it's positive. If I take away from it, it's very good. Okay, so let's put this in our calculators real quick. I still got 3 minutes. So what we're saying is that in 100 days, if I add 70 cents a day, I should have $81.05 in my jar. Yep, that's pretty good.